Hello?
Rajesh.
Yeah, can everybody see the screen? Okay,
Yes.
okay. So we'll continue. So now we'll see what is HTTP and again, okay, HTTP and how HTTP calls works and everything.
Okay.
Google Drawings. Let me open this one.
By drawings, no? Okay.
Yeah, HTTP client. Okay, so for example, so we already saw this one. So
Mm.
whenever you are requesting something, okay, so this will be like a client server architecture. Okay,
Okay. Mm.
so this one is your client, okay,
Mm.
or your machine,
Mm.
and so there is some other host machine.
Mm.
Okay, like it has the application. Okay, that is what we say
Okay.
server. So there is a server.
Okay.
So basically what you do, you request some data. You request some
Mm.
data from this machine, from this server,
Mm.
and what this server will do, this server will give you data in return based on your request, which type of data you want,
Oh, yeah.
right? So
Mm.
this is what we say request, and
And
this is
response.
your
Response.
response. Okay, and whenever you are requesting the web request, so you have to follow some protocols. Okay, like so what is the basic protocol we have?
Uh,
Basic
what?
protocol to make requests. One of the
HTTP.
basic HTTP
Mm.
request.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so by using HTTP protocol,
Mm.
HTTP protocol is nothing but a hypertext transfer
The transfer
protocol.
protocol.
It
Yeah.
can transfer the hypertext like HTML files and
Mm.
some other files, data.
Mm.
Okay, so
Mm.
basically our Angular application is a single page application, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what is
Mm.
our main goal? What we require basically? Data.
They are, yeah, from back and
Okay, so for example, list of user, I have to display list of users. Then what I do, I just simply ask the server to get the list of users and I will display them,
yeah.
right? So I take the
Yes.
data, so I get the data in my response and I'll display them. So these things you already know. Okay, you already worked on integration, right? How to
Mm-hmm.
integrate backend request. So this is
Yes.
how basically works. Okay, so whenever you request with some URL,
Mm.
okay, your server
Mm.
will take that URL, and based on that URL it will give you some data back.
Okay.
Okay, and so you
Mm.
take the data and you display the data in some tables or list of cards, something like that. Okay,
Okay.
so
Mm.
to make HTTP request and secure HTTP request, and so in Angular we have a class called HTTP, okay,
Mm.
and as well as
Mm.
HTTP client. So
Mm.
HTTP and HTTP client are mostly same, but their
Mm.
functionalities are same. But in HTTP client we have few more new concepts like interceptors,
Mm.
like that. Okay,
Okay.
now today what we will do, we'll see only uh, this one, what is HTTP client, and what the basic two methods, get and post requests.
Okay.
Okay, how to create a Firebase database, and how to make some requests to
Mm.
Firebase and
Mm.
get data. Okay, only saving some data and getting some data. Get and post request we'll see today. Okay,
Okay. Mm.
now let us come here to our application. So if you see this one,
Mm.
so I have a form. This
Mm.
is my app component.html. In
Mm.
this app.component.html, I have a simple form.
Mm.
It contains two fields, location and package price.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm.
so this is a trip. So yeah, I'm going to create a trip. Okay,
Mm.
so trip location and
Mm.
trip package price.
Okay.
Okay, I created an object for this one.
Mm.
Okay, trip of type trip, so that is located. So I
One
also
minute.
created a model called trip. trip location and package price. So in this app component, I created one object called trip. Okay, so this trip will get the will we have to save this trip. Okay, so I
Okay.
binded this trip
Mm.
here, and I created this one. This is a simple form. Okay,
Okay.
so now whenever the user so we'll come back to this form later. So this form will be look like
Okay.
this one. Sorry. So this will look like this. Okay, HTTP
Okay.
client demo. So create trip,
Mm.
it takes location and as well as package. So I enter
Mm.
some values here,
Mm.
location and price, number,
Mm.
and I'll save this one. Okay.
Okay. Mm.
So now, and before that, so once I save this one, I want to save this to a Firebase database.
Okay.
Okay, and I want to get
Mm.
a list of these trips what I have created previously. I want to get
Mm.
them only, so I'm not going
Mm.
to discuss deeply about Firebase database, how it works and everything. Firebase.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm.
so I want to show you how to make requests. Okay, instead of getting the data and displaying and everything, so
Mm.
how to pass the piece of data you have to backend or some server. Okay,
Mm. Mm.
and how to get data from server using HTTP client.
Okay.
Okay, while we are writing HTTP client, we'll see the difference. Okay,
Mm.
now we'll go to the Firebase. Okay, you have to just simply open your Firebase. So this is a Google product. Okay,
Okay. Mm.
so open Firebase. In this Firebase, you can see Firebase helps more mobile apps teams succeed. So you just have to click on Get Started.
Mm.
So there you can see a Firebase console.
Okay.
Okay, now you can add a project here. Okay,
Okay.
HTTP client demo.
Okay. Okay.
Click on,
This will like help to save data
yeah, yeah. So
back.
this guy,
Okay.
this is like this acts like a database, and also you can also use this for real time applications also. But for now,
Mm-hmm.
for our testing purpose, testing HTTP request, we are using this one. Okay, so you
Okay.
have to give
Okay.
your project name.
Mm.
Okay, and it will give you a project ID, and you can also select your country,
Mm.
India, cloud file location station. Yeah, so this is like where you want to store your data. That's it. Okay,
Mm. Mm.
and just accept the agreements and something, and it will create you a project. Okay,
Okay.
so uh, this by using this product means in this Firebase database,
Mm.
we use a separate module, that is there is some database there you can store our data. Okay,
Okay. Mm.
so we'll go there now. So this is our project.
Mm.
Okay, so
Mm.
here you can see authentication database
Mm.
and some
Crash.
performance analytics and some other analytics on that. That's it.
Yes.
Okay, now what we are going to use, we are going to use the database.
Mm.
Okay, so here if you see this one, you see a simple database. Okay, so I want to create a real-time database. Okay, so
Okay.
there is also a Firestore, cloud Firestore, but
Mm.
we are not going to discuss about Firebase in depth. We are
Mm-hmm.
just going to simply create a database.
Okay.
Okay, you have to let us create it in a normal test mode.
Mm.
Okay, so that we can read and write the data.
Okay.
Okay, so start in test mode. So this is our database now.
Mm.
Okay, so HTTP client demo FE329. Okay, so it is just saying that your database is open. If anybody has this URL, they can access it. Okay,
Okay.
so I want to dismiss this one. So if you see this one, this is our database.
Mm.
Okay, now in this there is nothing now. So this
Yes.
does not contain anything. So what we want to do, we just want to take this one. So first thing we have to save that some data, right? We want to save some data.
Mm.
Okay, so this is like server URL. Okay, so let us see this as server URL. Okay,
Mm.
now what I want to do, uh, so now we created our database. Okay, this is our
Mm.
server. This is our base URL.
Okay.
Okay, base URL to our server or to our database. Now, what I want to do, I want to make HTTP request, right? HTTP post and get request, so that
Mm.
I want to create a service. Okay,
Okay.
so here I have a service app.service.
Mm.
Okay, in that service. So if you want to use HTTP client, you have to inject HTTP client from your common/HTTP
Mm.
Angular slash common slash HTTP. So there
Mm.
is a class called HTTP client.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Now I want to get the trips and as well as I want to save the trip.
Yes.
Okay. So I
Mm.
have two methods. One is save the trip and the get trips.
Yes.
First, let us focus on save trips.
Mm.
So your save trip will take a trip object.
Mm.
Okay. It is of type, so it returns you the value of observable of type any.
Mm.
Okay, and here this is like you have to call like http client dot
And
post.
post
Okay,
and
you
mm.
have to specify. So in http you don't need to specify this what type of
Response.
data you are getting. So
Okay.
here also you don't need to specify, but
Um,
if you know what type of data you are getting, then you can specify it,
okay.
and your http client will automatically unwrap the data, unwrap the body. Like
Okay.
so for example
Okay.
you are getting trip here in response maybe. Okay, in that case
Mm.
you just subscribe or map do some things, right? You can also apply some methods
Yes.
like this map and do some things data.
Mm.
Okay, so this will automatically convert your data, so your trip data means it can automatically convert your HTTP request. It contains body, right? The body will be
Mm.
automatically taken as this type of data, trip data.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll see that one later in later class. We'll have one more class maybe by next week, or we'll see. Okay, so
Okay.
this is how you see. So this dot HTTP client, you have to call this post method. Basically, the post method will take two arguments.
Mm.
Okay, so let me clear this one. So this takes two arguments. The first one is the URL, the request URL, where we want
Mm.
to send our request.
Okay.
Okay, and the second one is the argument, the data, what we want to store.
Okay.
Okay, so here you have to take your URL. Okay, basically it doesn't contain anything now in this database.
Mm.
Now what I do, I just paste this URL here, and
Mm.
I want to save this as trips.json.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm.
and here also let us take later that later trips.json.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay, so now what I do, I want to save the trip, and as well as I want to get the trips. Okay, we'll see. So the
Yes.
basically the data will be saved in JSON format. So
Mm.
Firebase only requires this type of .json like thing. Okay, so in real time request that will not be
Okay.
there. Okay, for our goal is making
Okay.
HTTP requests. Okay, now
Yes.
so
Yes.
to save the trip, I used my post method, and okay, so this post method is a URL or to your Firebase database, and as well as it also take the object. And
Okay.
once the data is stored, I want to get the list of trips which are stored there. Okay,
Mm. Mm.
so once you write your HTTP requests in your service, next thing you have to inject your service in your component.
Yes.
Okay. So now I want to use the service in my app component,
Mm.
so that I have to inject it private service app service.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one more thing you have to do, you have to declare that app.service in your providers.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
And now if you come back, I take my app service.
Mm.
Okay. Let me comment out this get trips for now.
Mm. Mm.
And so now we have on save trip. So
Yes.
whenever somebody entered the trip location and as well as the trip package price and clicked on save trip, I want to save the trip to the database.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
So here we have a method called save trip. Okay.
Save.
And this dot app service dot save trip, this dot
Mm.
trip. Okay. Basically, if you see the save trip method, uh,
Mm.
in your service, it basically returns an observable. You already know what is meant
Yes.
by observable and how it returns the data. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Mm.
whenever
Mm.
you are getting an observable, you don't get the data immediately. So
Yeah, we
after,
have to subscribe.
yeah, we
Mm.
have to subscribe to that observable. So
Yes.
what we do in our save method, once the strip save is called, we want to subscribe to that and we want to see the
Mm.
response. Okay.
Okay.
So we want to
Mm.
see the response what we are getting, and
Okay.
so we are going to log what type of response we are getting after
Yes.
saving. Okay. Now
Mm.
let us go and see how this works. Okay. So
Mm.
initially your database is empty, and we have our HTTP client miss the trip create trip form. Okay.
Mm.
And now let us see. So let me write. So location. Tell me a location.
Location. Uh, Kurg.
Okay. Cool.
Mm.
And price
Price 5,000.
$5,000.
Mm.
Okay.
No, no. 5,000 rupees.
Okay. I think it is in okay, okay, rupees. Now if I click on save,
Mm.
so there is a request is going to your backend.
Mm. Yes.
Okay. If you
Mm.
see this one, so in headers it is so general information. So it is
Mm.
going to http client demos dot firebase.com slash trips.json. Okay,
Mm.
if the JSON file is not there, it will automatically create the data like that.
Yes.
Okay, so trips.json. So this is successful request, and we pass some data like location and package price,
Mm.
and it gave you a response
Okay.
like name of type some key. It gave.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so
Mm.
now what we do? Uh, so let us see our database whether our trip is saved in the database or not.
Okay.
Okay, so this is our response. So this just contains a key, that is a
Mm.
name and value, and we'll see our data. Check our database. If you see this database, so we
Yeah.
saved the data, right? So the
Yes.
trips.json that came here, and it created a primary key like thing, means a
Mm.
unique ID,
Mm.
and it added our location and as well as package price.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so this
Mm.
is how you make post requests. Okay,
Okay. Mm.
so to make post requests, you have to write like this. Okay, in your service,
Mm.
you just have to use your HTTP client and you
Mm.
have to use your post method. This
Mm.
post method will basically take two arguments. Okay,
Okay. Mm.
URL, body, and the third one is not mandatory, optional.
Okay.
Okay, options. You can also pass some options in your HTTP client and every. Okay,
Mm.
and you currently we are passing URL and as well as body.
Mm.
Okay, and so this is our URL we are saving now. Miss, where I'm saying that please store the data there. Okay,
Okay.
and I am also adding some object to it, means
Yes.
what data I want to store. Now
Mm.
let us
Mm.
see again, and let us create one more. and let us see whether it is saving or not.
Okay.
Okay, let us add one more thing. Uh, Lonavala. Okay, this is like 6,000. If I click on
Okay.
save trip, okay, it created. So let us see the database. See, in our
Yeah.
trips.json, it
Yeah.
created
One more.
one more object, one more
Yes.
entry. Okay,
Mm.
so this is how it stores the data. Okay, means
Okay.
basically how the post request works. Okay, here we are posting the data to some server. So these things are basic, but the URL may change in your application. Okay, so the URL may be different, and so the data what you are passing is different. The basic things, so you have to pass two arguments. One is where you have to call this request, and what is the data you want to pass in case of your post request.
Yes.
Okay,
Mm.
now I saved some two. I have two trips, right? So now I want to get the trip details.
Yes.
Okay, so
Mm.
how do I get it? So by using
Using the
Get.
get.
get. So I have
Get.
get trips method. Okay, and here I'm just passing a URL, HTTP client something, that URL that given by the Firebase or
Okay.
Firebase database URL, and I want to specify like this trips.json. I want to get trips.json. Okay, so this is just basically a URL that requests the database and gets the data. Okay, in real time cases, you'll get an application, means your
Mm.
server URL, and you call the data, and based on some URL, and it will give you the exact data, appropriate data. Okay, now
Yes.
let us see how this get trips work. Okay, in my
Mm.
trips get trips component, so I created a method called get trips. Okay,
Mm.
so this basically I'm calling this ng on in it. So this get trips method will call a service called this dot app service dot get trips. Okay,
Mm.
so this will give you an observable. You know how to handle observable. You have to subscribe to
Yes.
it, and
Yes.
dot subscribe, and you take the data, and so it will give you the list of trips.
Okay.
Okay, now we'll see. But I'm not going to explain the Firebase how it works and everything. But the base
Oh,
our basic thing is how requests work.
okay.
Okay,
Mm.
okay.
You didn't
So
save the
now,
server.
yeah. So this one I think I didn't say this one.
Mm.
So, yeah. So let us see how this works. Okay. So in ng on init, I'm calling this one get trips. Okay, and as well as
Yeah.
if after saving also I want to get the trips.
Okay.
Okay. Now let us see. Instead of the response we say the list. Okay,
List. Yeah.
see the list, we got the database data from
Mm.
our database. Okay, one is
And
Purg and it is
Kurgan.
5,000, and Lola is 6,000. And if we see
Okay.
the network also, we have
We
two
get
calls.
it.
We get two calls here. One is
Mm.
trips.json.
Mm.
Yeah, one call. So it is a get request, and
Mm.
it is successfully completed, and the remote address is some 35 something else. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
and you can also pass some headers, means you can, this is some are headers, that is default headers. Okay,
Okay.
and
Okay.
so this is our data what we are getting
Okay.
from the database.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
and now what we do, this is our database. So this is a test database, right? Whether we can test whether data is correctly storing or not getting safely or not. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
so yeah,
Mm.
this is our get request, and
Mm.
let us do one more post request. Okay, let us do one more save and see whether everything is working fine or not. uh, One more is ot 6,000. Okay,
Mm. Mm.
and save the trip.
Yes.
See, the
saved
list. We got
list.
the list, and we have
Add.
3 now. Okay, our data is getting stored in backend.
Okay.
Okay, we can test
Mm.
it with means we can use for this as testing purpose whether the requests are correctly working or not,
Mm.
data is correctly going or not. We can check
Mm.
this. Okay,
Yes, yes, yes.
and you can also use this Firebase as a database also for real-time applications. But
Mm.
you have to go through it. Means you have to check how to use it and everything. Okay, here
Okay.
we are
Mm.
getting keys like values and how to iterate those values. You have to see.
Mm.
Okay,
Okay.
so to make get request, you have to use the get method of your HTTP client, and you
Yes.
have to pass a URL from where you
And
want to get the data.
yes.
Yes. Okay. Now
Mm.
one more thing, one more time, we'll see how Firebase. So let us go
Mm.
uh,
And
to my
this.
database section.
Mm.
Okay. You can also, so if you see here, you can also add new project.
Mm.
Okay, you just have to give your project name and you have to
Mm.
accept and you can create
Mm.
the project. And once
Yes.
you created the project, in your project, you can see like this. Okay,
Okay.
you can
Mm.
go to your project.
Mm.
Okay, so there you
Mm.
can create your database,
Okay.
and so this is like straightforward.
Mm.
Next, like okay,
Yes, yes.
in your
And
database, you can add multiple databases here. Okay,
okay.
so
If you
real-time
put
database.
if you put the link and give a name to it, it will automatically come and create trips and yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
understood.
yeah. You don't have to give the you don't have to. You can also create here also. For example, I want
Okay.
to add one more node. I can add like this. Okay,
Mm.
like next list of users.
Okay.
Okay, I can add like this.
Mm.
Let me add here. But
Mm.
basically, I completely don't know how to use this Firebase, but
Mm.
we can make requests. Okay,
Okay.
what we can do, users
Mm.
and some empty array. I think. Okay,
Mm.
it takes. Let me write this one.
Mm.
And no, it is not working like that.
Okay. We can add from there, right? Why-
Where, yeah, you can add from there,
Mm.
and you can also add here also, I think.
I think we can add values to it. Like we'll put values in DB, right?
I think I have to click on add
Yes.
tips. Now, if I go here, no, it is not adding. Okay,
Mm.
see how to add that also. Basically, you
Okay.
can add from your application,
Okay.
and also
Okay.
you
Yeah.
can add it from here also. Okay,
Okay,
and
Raju.
so that is how we are creating a test database for your
Mm.
application.
Mm.
And you can simply check whether the data is correctly storing or not. And one
Mm.
more thing is, please also see how to retrieve the data
Mm.
from the server
Mm.
and whether it is working or not. And please do practice. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
if
Just
you practice only, then only you can remember. And
yes.
from
Yes.
starting I'm saying,
Mm.
okay, so
Mm.
please
Yes.
do practice.
Mm.
And one thing you already know this HTTP client and everything.
Yes.
HTTP. So
Mm.
HTTP and HTTP client are nothing but there are two types of classes in your Angular. The
Mm.
HTTP one is deprecated. Basically,
Mm.
your HTTP client will provide you the basic methods like get, post, put,
Mm. Mm.
and delete, various types of methods.
Okay.
Okay, so by
Mm.
using those methods, you can use URL and you can also pass some data to your in your post request, and you can get the data, and as well as you can post the data using this HTTP client. Okay,
Yes.
if you
Mm.
want to go in depth, okay, so then you can see
Mm.
uh, here. Okay, so in
Mm.
your API,
Mm.
so this is located in, so go to API. So the
Mm.
API is the best place to learn Angular. Okay, so
Okay.
there you can see, let me search for HTTP client.
Mm.
Okay, so in your common.http, So this one is located in your common slash HTTP.
Mm.
It's a client. So this contains the entire methods: request,
Okay.
delete, get,
Mm.
head, like JSON, P, something like that.
Oh.
Option, uh, patch, observe, post, put.
Mm. Mm.
Now we post request and get request.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
So and you can also see various methods, description, how they
Mm.
work and everything here.
Mm.
If you want to learn more, okay, the basic
Okay.
thing is enough, means till what you have learned. So that things are enough, means
Mm.
to do enough to start a project and to work on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
So uh, please go through the HTTP and HTTP client,
Mm. Yes.
and please do practice.
Okay.
And so probably this is our last class, okay,
Okay.
and we'll see what we did. So I'll give you a project to work
Mm.
on,
Mm.
and we'll review that project whether it is possible in our office or here, okay,
Okay. Okay.
online.
Okay, Raju.
Okay, so that's it. Once we review everything, okay, let us review
Mm.
everything what we have learned till now. Okay.
Okay. Mm.
Google Classroom. Let me open Google Classroom and we'll see. Angular. Yes. Yeah. Here we can see classwork. Okay. So we know how to install and set up Angular environment. Okay.
Yes. Mm.
And we know what is
Data
meant by
binding.
data binding, directives.
Types of
Okay.
data binding. Mm.
Yeah. Types of data binding like string
String
interpolation,
encryption,
property binding,
property,
to event
event,
binding, to data binding.
mm.
Yes. Next, we also saw
And
the some basic
structural
directives,
directive, attribute
structural
directive.
directives, and attribute directives. And
Mm.
please do practice each and every concept. If you practice
Yes.
only, then only you can remember. Okay. Okay.
Yes. Yes, Raju.
Those are
Mm.
basics, and based on that
Mm.
basics, we also saw how to create our own custom properties like at input.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm.
and custom events
Disable.
using at
Mm.
output.
Mm.
Via encapsulation, we saw how a via encapsulation works,
Mm.
and we also saw local references, hashtag.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hashtag
and we also
elementary.
saw view child, how to
Mm.
access the child elements from your component.
Yes.
Yes,
Mm.
and we also saw ng
NG
content, how to
content.
project content from the parent component.
Yes.
Okay,
Mm.
and component lifecycle, what are the various lifecycle hooks we have in our Angular, and
Mm.
how to use them.
Okay.
And we also saw a annotation, this one of the
It
another
contains.
annotation at
Yes.
content set, to access the content that is projected dynamically. Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
please go through
Mm.
that one if you have no idea.
Mm.
And
Mm.
one more, so later we saw in depth directives, what are basic directives we have: attribute and
Mm.
structural directives, ng for an ng for some ng style ng class. And
Mm. Mm.
later we created our own directives,
Yeah.
attribute
Like
directives.
a button spinner and all.
Yeah, button spinner and color
Mm.
changing, mouse
Yes.
and mouse level like that. And
Yes. Yes.
we also saw the renderer. What is the purpose of render? And
Mm.
host listener,
Host listener.
yeah, host
Mm.
listener, host binding,
Mm.
and binding to directives, and creating structural directives and ng switch.
Mm.
We saw one more structural directive, that is inbuilt
Okay.
structural directive. And
Mm.
then we saw services, how to
Services.
what are services, how to create them, and how to
Mm.
inject them into our components. Okay,
Mm.
and how to make cross component
But-
communication using these services.
yes.
Okay,
Subject
and then
object. Mm.
we saw routing. So
Route.
in
Yeah.
this routing, we saw what is the purpose of router, and setting up and
Mm.
loading routes, and
Mm.
router links and navigation paths, means the paths. Okay,
Yes.
active route
Mm.
styling means activated route. So we know already there is a directive like activated route is there, right? To styling.
Mm. Yes.
And programmatic navigation means like navigating from our component. This dot routers or navigate. And
Okay.
we also saw route params, query params, how to add
Mm.
child routes. and
Mm.
redirecting and wildcard routes.
Okay.
Okay, means star
Mm.
star. Okay,
Yes.
route guard, how
Star
to
star.
protect our guards. Yeah, and can
Yes.
activate
Can
to
activate.
protect
Can
our
activate.
can activate
Child
child
contact. Mm.
auth service, can
Can
deactivate,
activate.
and passing static data. I think I did not explain the can deactivate
Can do.
concept.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Please,
You didn't.
please go through that one. That is also very simple. So, okay,
Okay.
you just have to simply implement can deactivate. Okay.
Okay. Mm.
And we also saw how to pass some static data. And here, one more topic I explained, that is resolvers.
Yes.
In your routing, I explained one more topic, resolvers. I didn't
Mm.
mention here. Okay.
Okay.
And
Mm.
then we started our observables. What is meant by
Observables. Yeah.
RxJS? So RxJS
Mm.
is React extensions for your JavaScript.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Mm.
and we saw what is
Observables.
meant by observable, how to use and create our own observable, and
Mm. Mm.
creating our observable and unsubscribe also means how to unsubscribe.
Mm.
If you don't
Yes.
unsubscribe, what will happen? And
Yes.
subjects, how to use subjects means to cross means parallel
To.
component communication.
Yes.
Okay,
Mm.
and later we saw forms.
Forms.
In
Mm.
forms, we have two types. One is template driven, and this one reactive forms. So in
React
this
forms. Yeah.
template driven forms, we saw ng model, two-way data binding,
Data pending grouping
grouping,
forms.
grouping the forms. I think grouping forms we didn't cover. Yes,
Mm.
and handling. So that is nothing but like form grouping each one as a separate form.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Mm.
handling radio buttons.
Mm.
Uh, I think we did not see radio,
Just
but
say
we saw
radio buttons. Yeah.
but basically we saw what are the basic fields you have, and I told
Yes.
you
Yes.
guys to practice each and every type of input.
Create one.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes. I will did. Mm.
yeah, and
Mm.
the form data and resetting the forms. Did we
Mm.
discuss this one using a reference?
Resetting forms. Yeah. Dot
Yeah,
reset. We did at
yeah.
future.
And we started reactive forms, and we saw creating a reactive form. Okay,
Mm.
submitting
Mm.
a reactive form,
Mm.
and we also added validations, and so
Some
grouping
control.
controls we didn't cover.
Mm.
Array of form controls, we added form controls, and also
Form control. Yeah.
custom validators. I think I don't know, so we did not cover these things, last things. But up to this one,
Mm.
reactive
Mm.
forms is enough, like binding using from control and form group, and validations are enough. Okay, if you want to learn
Done.
about these things also, you can learn. Okay,
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
and later we discussed
Pipes.
about pipes. Now
Mm-hmm.
we have what is meant by pipe, and how to parameterizing the pipes means passing some values to the pipes.
But
Okay,
on
and setting multiple pipes, date
mm,
pipe and uppercase, lowercase
uppercase pipe.
pipes like that. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
and we
Mm.
created our custom pipe, and we also
Mm,
passed
shorten.
some value to, yeah, uh, that custom pipe, shorten pipe. And
Mm.
so the last one is async pipe.
Mm.
So please go through this one. So this async
Mm.
pipe is like uh, is observing the data, like observable. For observable, you use this pipe, async pipe. Please go through this one, okay?
Okay.
Okay, and we saw in HTTP or HTTP client. So these both things are same. Okay,
Same. Yeah.
so HTTP or
Mm.
HTTP client both are same. Uh,
Mm.
Here we saw what is HTTP and how
Mm.
to set up the database, Firebase
Mm.
database, and
Yes.
how to send the request, and how to
Mm.
send get request, and how to get post request. Okay,
Okay.
how to post a request, and how to get a request, and how to see the data is the HTTP client, the working of HTTP client. And if you want to go
Okay.
in depth, you can also set headers, set body,
Mm.
and set
Mm.
other
Mm.
things also. So there is one
Oh.
more concept called HTTP interceptors. Please go
Oh.
through that one. So you rarely come across that thing. Okay,
Yes.
so in
Mm.
HTTP client they added some new things. Okay, so for
Mm.
starting and
Mm.
for working on basic things, this HTTP client basics are enough. Okay, so if you are interested, if you have a need, then you have to go in depth to through your HTTP client. Okay,
Mm.
and so that's it.
Animation.
And one more thing you have to see is this one, animations.
Mm. Okay.
So basically, there is another one called animations in your Angular. Okay,
Mm.
so
Mm.
basically that is not mostly we use. Okay, so basically
Okay.
animations like